Will Dean Henderson start or will David De Gea
Position
start?
on the log, will they finish?
Who's going to be the three in the midfield?
Ronaldo, Ronaldo! It's one of the great Old Trafford comebacks. Astonishing!
Welcome guys to Manchester United season preview, and I would have liked to do this preview when where the transfer market has been closed, so we know which players we have, which players we don't have. But be it as it may, you'll know the situation that the season starts with the transfer market still open. So speaking about transfer market, we've only signed Donny van de Beek. People are questioning where he will play. Will he be a starter? Will he be a squad player? For me, I think Donny will be a squad player. I don't think he'll be a starter. If he does start, then it's to the detriment of Paul Pogba, which means that Paul Pogba can't go forward. Already Paul Pogba can't go forward because he plays as a CDM, but that will just mean that Paul Pogba has to stay back to accommodate Donny. But I'll touch more into that as the video goes. So we only signed Donny van de Beek, and then there's still the rumours of Jadon Sancho. However, some newspapers are reporting that Manchester United are prepared to walk away from Jadon Sancho this transfer market. Well, for me personally, I still got a little belief. I'm one of the few fans that still believe we will sign Jadon Sancho. I don't think United are able or willing to walk away from the deal, especially the fact that we only signed Donny. If we do not sign anyone else, we will struggle just to finish fourth. We will struggle just to finish fourth, and Chelsea will surely finish third. So I personally do still believe that Manchester United will sign Jadon Sancho. The story is still the same. United need to come up with £108 million, and the deal is on. United don't want to pay that money in this current climate of the pandemic. So let's wait to see what happens at the end of the transfer window. But however, if United do not sign Jadon Sancho, then I would hope that they would maybe go for a player like Gareth Bale on loan. Get him on loan. Real Madrid will be willing to take him to take him on loan because Gareth Bale is not playing any football for them. Gareth Bale told Zinedine Zidane in a Champions League, what was it, round of 16, he told Zinedine Zidane that he doesn't want to play. And so there is that friction between him and the club. So the club will be willing for him to go on loan. He will be willing to come to us because he's not playing any football at Madrid, and that situation is not going to stop. So for me, I would go for Gareth Bale on loan. Don't buy him. Get him on loan. Don't buy him because we might end up with the same situation as we ended up with Alexis Sanchez. So don't buy him. Don't buy him. Just go and get him on loan. And you know, the good thing about Gareth Bale is that he's injury prone. So Mason Greenwood is guaranteed minutes. Guaranteed, because Gareth Bale gets injured each and every season. And he doesn't get injured and miss one game. No, he misses something like 5 games and so forth. So that's the cool thing about it. And even if we do get Bale, then all he needs to tell Bale, you know, look here, you're not just going to walk into our starting 11. You have to compete with Mason Greenwood for the right wing. And Gareth Bale will be willing because he's not playing any football at Real Madrid. No one else in the football world wants him, besides a move to China. But no one else wants him. So I'm sure he will come under those conditions to prove himself that he's still a top player and compete with Mason Greenwood. And we do need squad depth, because if we do not sign a forward player, then one injury to one of our front 3 players and all of a sudden you're looking at bringing Igalo on, or Daniel James, or Jesse Lingard, and the drop in quality then is too low. Is too low. We saw it last season. We said we need squad depth. We need to sign players because our squad is not good enough. Our first 11 is good, but our squad is not good. So we need to sign a forward player. If we do not get Jadon Sancho, at least go and get Gareth Bale on loan. But they have to sign a forward player. And that's why some of the fans like me as well, we were criticizing and heavily against United not getting Haaland and United not going for Werner. Because we understood that United don't have squad depth. We've only got a first 11. Once a player gets injured in our first 11, we've got big problems. And partially that's because we don't have a system. United don't play with the system. When you play with the system, it doesn't matter which player you take out, the team will still maintain a certain standard of performance because the system is key. The system in football is key. Look at Manchester City, you look at Liverpool, they got a system. It doesn't matter which player they take out, they still win games, and they still win leagues because they got a system. Now what United, you take one player out of our team and all of a sudden the dropping quality is too low because we don't have a system. We rely on individual players and individual moments of brilliance. And that's down to the manager. You all know how I feel about the manager. So I won't get too much into that, but so that's the transfer. And one of the reasons me, also why they're saying it's a stumbling block for us to sign Reguilón is that Real Madrid wants a buyback clause. You know, we need to understand where we are at this time, where United is. We're not the United of 20 years ago or of 10 years ago. We are a very bad footballing team. We are not even the top 10 footballing team in the world on the pitch. We are not. There's many teams that are better than us. So we need to understand where we are. We haven't won the Premier League, a serious trophy, for 7 years. 7 years we haven't won a big trophy. For 2 years we haven't won any small cup, any silverware. We are not the Manchester United of 10 years. So we need to understand who we are and where we are right now. So if Real Madrid wants a buyback clause, that's what they want. And when you're dealing with Real Madrid, they are the biggest club in the world. They are the biggest club in the world. It's every player's dream to play for Real Madrid. So I can understand also why Reguilón is also pushing for a buyback clause. But we need to be smart in the market. The problem is that Manchester United, I've got big problems with them. But one of the problems is, the many problems is that we don't have footballing people that are doing the transfers, that are doing the negotiations, that are drawing up the contracts. Because if we had footballing people that understand football, then you'll say, okay, Real Madrid wants a buyback clause. We need this left back. He's a very good left back. He's better than Luke Shaw. We need him. Okay, let's get him. And then you tell Real Madrid, we will put your buyback clause in, but we are only putting it after 3 seasons. We need to get the best out of Reguilón. He can't play for us for one season and then you'll take him. So you need to go to Real Madrid and say, okay, we don't want to put a buyback clause, but because of that condition, we'll put your buyback clause for you. However, it's only going to become active after 3 seasons. And when it does become active, it's only active for one transfer window, the summer transfer window. If you do not buy him in that summer transfer window, the clause becomes null and void and we continue. That's what United need to say. But United can't negotiate. We even saw with the Haaland deal. We walked away from the Haaland deal because they wanted a release clause. Of course he's going to want a release clause. Understand where we are as a football club. We are not a top football club anymore. We are not a top football club anymore. When last have we won the Premier League? When last have we won the Champions League? When last have we given even a proper account for ourselves in our domestic league and the Champions League? Every second season we play in Europa. So how can you want to tie Haaland down? Haaland's very smart. And his agents is very smart for demanding a release clause. Because Mino Raiola, understands the Pogba situation. Paul Pogba came to us. We fed him a lie. We fed him a dream that never come to pass. And so he was stuck at the club where Real Madrid and Barcelona wanted him, but he couldn't move because United did not want to sell. So he couldn't move because Manchester United did not want to sell him. So Mino Raiola did not want to put his client in that same situation, and I can understand for that. I understand because I know where Manchester United are. We're not at the place we were 10, 15, 20 years ago. So we walked away from that deal and I criticized the club, and we are not going to sign Reguilón. I'm going to put that out there. We are not going to sign Reguilón. A centre-back as well. We were linked to the centre-back, and I heard people say, the papers, I heard credible sources say United will only buy a centre-back should the right centre-back become available. Well, who is the right centre-back? Because who is the centre-back that you want? Because in one of my previous videos I done 2 months ago, transfer video, I said United need to be looking at Upamecano. I said this while the season was happening. I said United need to look at Upamecano. I said this before Upamecano signed his new contract. Guess what? United never looked at Upamecano. They started looking at Upamecano when Upamecano signed a new contract. How can you look at a player that just signed a new contract? This is evident to me that United don't have any idea what's happening in the football world outside the Premier League. They've got zero clue. That's why we hardly sign players outside the Premier League. And this is why I criticize this manager and his transfer strategy. I mean, Upamecano is the best young centre-back in the world. He's one of the best centre-backs in the world. He's much better than Harry Maguire. We paid 80 million for Harry Maguire. Upamecano was available for 40 million before he signed his contract, or for 50 million, let's say. Why couldn't you go get the deal done? Because you don't know what's happening outside of England. And he's not British. That's why. So, be it as it may, I still feel we're going to sign Jadon Sancho. So, what do I expect from, what can I see, what can I foresee is going to happen this season for Manchester United in the Premier League and in the cup competitions as well? Well, I foresee us guys finishing 4th. We will finish 4th. We will not finish, obviously, 1st and 2nd. We know that's not going to happen. That's Liverpool and Manchester City to fight out. 3rd place, we will not finish 3rd as well. You saw Chelsea. You seeing what they are doing in the transfer market. They are about to buy a keeper now. So that means they're going to take their transfers to about 7 players they've bought this transfer market. You know what, guys? You can, a rebuild can take you not more than 2 seasons. Not more than, if you know what you're doing, a rebuild can take you 2 seasons. Not more than that. The fact that a rebuild has taken us so long, 7 years, and we're still not close, as a proven that the people at the club do not know anything what they're doing. Chelsea are showing us that they are rectifying majority of their squad in 1 transfer window. When you are serious, you can do it in 1 transfer window. So I don't want to hear any excuses for United. Chelsea, you see the players that they're buying, you see the caliber of players that they are buying. They are buying very, very good players and big players. So Chelsea will secure that 3rd spot. I got no doubt in my mind. Frank Lampard is a good manager as well. You see the style of play that they have is a much better style of play than we have. So I got no doubt in my mind they will finish 3rd. We will finish 4th. I think we will finish 4th comfortably. I don't see any other team troubling us for 4th place. Arsenal are good, but they will be inconsistent. Tottenham are a mess. Who else? Everton got good players, but they will also be inconsistent. So Leicester will be inconsistent. So I do see United finishing 4th, comfortably 4th. You decide if that's good enough for you. For me, that's not good enough. Never is that good enough. For me, 3rd, the way we finished 3rd place wasn't good enough. 3rd place was good, but the way we finished 3rd, tie on points with Chelsea, a team that lost their best player and never replaced him, that is not good enough for me. So be it as it may, I see us finishing 4th. Please remember this video at the end of the season so you can see if what I said come to pass. Maximum is 4th. The highest we will finish is 4th. We can't even finish below that, because I know if we do not sign Jadon Sancho, it's going to be peak. It's going to be peak. So I'm saying the highest position that we will finish is 4th place. And then let's go through the team and see which players will start and how they will do. Well, we know Ole got a set starting 11, but there will be some changes. At the back, we've brought in Dean Henderson to compete with David De Gea. I personally feel that David De Gea will raise his standard of performance now, because he knows Dean Henderson is there. He knows that if he makes those mistakes that he was making last season and the seasons before, he's out. He knows he's out. So I think that we will see that the De Gea of old, the De Gea that was winning Player of the Year for us, I think we will see that De Gea with no mistakes, making world-class saves that only he can make. I think we will see that De Gea, because he knows any small mistake, Dean Henderson is coming in the sticks, and Dean Henderson doesn't make mistakes according to his performances at Sheffield. So I do believe, first of all, De Gea will start the first game. We're playing Crystal Palace at home at Old Trafford, so I do believe that David De Gea will start that game. I think he'll have a okay game. Doesn't mean he won't concede a goal, but he'll be solid, I do think so. So yeah, I'm backing De Gea for this season, guys. I'm backing him that he will return to the De Gea of old. Right back, we know Wan-Bissaka. We know what Wan-Bissaka gives us. He's the best fullback in the world when it comes to defending, but attacking is extremely poor. And I think we will see more of that. Wan-Bissaka can cross the ball. It's just that on the ball he's bad. He can't run with the ball properly. He can't trap the ball properly. He can't pass the ball. So I think you will see more of that, because he doesn't have the ability. It's not like a player that has the ability and just needs to be coached. Wan-Bissaka don't have the ability. So I think you're going to see that of Wan-Bissaka. Some more defensive soundness from him. Sound in defending, but poor going forward. Then the centre-backs, we know the centre-backs are going to be Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. That centre-back partnership is one of the worst we've seen at Manchester United. It's extremely bad because they both are the same players. They both are not fast. They both make defensive mistakes. They both get caught out of position. They both don't have recovery pace. They are both not very good on the ball. I know people say, and this is the English media, that say that Harry Maguire is a ball-playing centre-back. Harry Maguire is not no ball-playing centre-back. How many times you see Harry Maguire making that diagonal pass, that 40-yarder diagonal pass, and how many times it goes out for a throw-in? Harry Maguire can make that pass 10 times, and 8 out of 10 times it goes out. 2 out of 10 it'll go to the player. Is that a ball-playing centre-back? He's not no ball-playing centre-back. I'll give you an example of a ball-playing centre-back. Virgil van Dijk, Laporte, Koulibaly, Upamecano, Varane, Sergio Ramos, PK, Longley. Those are ball-playing centre-backs. Harry Maguire ain't no ball-playing centre-back. So that partnership is a very poor one. Very, very poor one. So we are going to see more of that. We're going to see them getting caught out of position. We're going to see them making mistakes. No recovery pace. That's what we're going to see from them. Luke Shaw, we know what to expect from Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw defensively is sound. He's a very good defensive left back. The problem I have with Luke Shaw is that he's got all the ability in the world to become a top left back, but he doesn't want to perform to that ability. Whether he's lazy, whether it's he doesn't want to, I don't know, but he's got all the ability because Luke Shaw can go forward. Luke Shaw got pace, he's very fast, he's powerful when he runs, he's got drive in that when he runs with the ball he can drive at the opposition, he can cross the ball, he's got all the elements to become a top left back, but Luke Shaw doesn't want to go forward. Most of the time Luke Shaw is playing on the halfway line, doesn't go past the halfway line, and that's why I criticize our manager, because as a manager it's your duty to make the players play how you want them to play. Remember when Pep Guardiola first came to Manchester City, he benched Kun Aguero because Kun Aguero was playing as a box striker. He did not want to get involved in the build-up play. He didn't want to get involved in the link-up play. He only wanted to play in the box. And for Pep Guardiola that plays total football, that's not good enough. And so Kun Aguero was getting benched until Kun Aguero realized what Pep wanted from him and started doing what Pep wanted from him. Then he came back into the squad. Now you're seeing Kun Aguero hold up the ball, link up the play and come short. You're seeing all that. So Oli, it's his job to get the players doing what he wants them to do. That's why we say it's freestyle football, because players are doing whatever they want to do. Bruno Fernandes, sometimes he plays as a 10, sometimes he's playing on the left wing, sometimes he's playing up on top with Martial as a second striker. How can you do that? What freedom is that? I've never seen that freedom. Luke Shaw, it depends how is he feeling in that game. Sometimes he's bombing forward, sometimes he's playing within himself on the halfway line. It depends how he wants to play, and our manager is fine with that because it's freestyle football. It's do whatever you want to do. So with Luke Shaw, he got the ability, but he doesn't want to perform according to his ability. So you will see more of that next season because our manager, I don't think he knows what he's doing. So you will see more of that next season from Luke Shaw. Very good defensively, but attacking, he's got the ability, but he does not want to attack. Luke Shaw got 8 assists in 8 seasons in the Premier League. You tell me, is that good enough? Then in the midfield, yes, where the people are really at daggerheads in the midfield. I personally believe that Oli will go with Paul Pogba, Matic and Bruno Fernandes, or Paul Pogba, Fred and Bruno Fernandes. I think Donny will be a squad player. If Donny does come in to the first 11, he comes in to partner Paul Pogba in the 2-man midfield. It will work. It will work, because if you play in 2 number 6s, you don't need a CDM. You don't need an out-and-out CDM because you've got 2 playing as a CDM. So it will work. The only thing I fear for is Paul Pogba. Why must he be sacrificed? Do you know how much Paul Pogba is sacrificing himself for this team? He's playing as a CDM and he's not no CDM. He's a box-to-box midfielder that needs freedom to go forward because he scores goals and he creates assists. He's our most creative player, yet we got our most creative player getting the ball off Harry Maguire. You tell me if that manager knows what he's doing. Anyways, I do believe that the midfield will be Paul Pogba, Fredo Matic and Bruno Fernandes. If Donny plays, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it if Donny starts. I'm happy with it. I just hope that him and Paul Pogba can rotate having turns to go forward. Will that happen? I don't think so, because we've already seen that Ollie said Donny van der Beek is very good going forward. So I think Ollie's going to kill Paul Pogba even more of how is he killing him now. So that's the midfield, guys. And then on the right wing, I think you'll see Mason Greenwood. You know, there's a lot of things going around with Mason Greenwood. I don't want to entertain all that. He's a young boy. He made a mistake. He owned up to his mistakes. How many footballers make a mistake? Why is the newspapers continually hitting against him? Number one, because he's black. What can I say? That's the reason. Anyways, I don't want to go too much into the politics, guys. I don't want to go too much into politics. All I will say, Gary Neville came out and said that he's feeling compassion for Mason Greenwood and it needs to stop for Mason Greenwood, and he's not going to hit against Mason Greenwood. He's saying all these things, which I agree. I fully agree. I'm behind Mason Greenwood. However, where were you, Gary Neville, when Paul Pogba, the minute he stepped into our foot, Gary Neville was one of them that was criticizing Paul Pogba. From the moment he stepped into our pitch up till right now, Gary Neville's always criticizing Paul Pogba. So why the difference? Why the difference, Gary Neville? Why the biasm? Let me tell you guys, be careful of the mainstream media. There's very few pundits that really know what they're talking about. Very few pundits that speak the truth. Most of them got a biased view on football. Most of them, for many different reasons. So you just need to be careful and wise enough as to who you're listening to. Let me tell you also, the people in YouTube know more than those pundits that are sitting there in the mainstream media. You just have to watch YouTube videos to understand that as well. So right wing Mason Greenwood, I think Mason Greenwood can get us probably 12 to 15 goals in the Premier League. I definitely think that he's good enough, that boy. He's a shooter. Whenever the ball leaves his foot, it's hitting the target. It's either going in or hitting the post, or the keeper has to perform a worldie. So I think he can get us 12 to 15 goals next season. I'm excited to see Mason Greenwood. Then up front, Anthony Martial. It's a big season for him because he performed so well last season. Now the people want to see, can he maintain that level? Because Anthony Martial's been inconsistent over the years. Yes, he's been playing out of position. So we are playing him for the second season now. Consistently, he's playing as a number 9. We need to see those goals, Tony. We need to see a minimum of 17 goals in the Premier League. A minimum. He should be giving us 20 goals, guys. He's a striker for Manchester United. We need 20 goals, but I'm saying a minimum 17. So it's a big season for Tony Martial. And then you got Marcus Rashford, who I believe he will continue the form that he had post-lockdown. That is Marcus Rashford. I'm not gassed about all those goals he scored last season because I know majority of those goals were penalties. Yes, penalties count. We win games, we win trophies by penalties, but you can't base your game on penalties. When we versed Sevilla, we based our game on penalties. That Sevilla beat us. And we couldn't score a goal from open play because we were basing our game on penalties towards the end of the season. That's how we were winning games, through penalties. So, as I'm saying, the penalties are taken away from Rashford. So now you're going to see the true Rashford. The Rashford that you've been seeing season in and season out. A very inconsistent Rashford. That for me, probably he'll give us 12 goals in the league. I don't think he'll get any more than 12 goals. I don't think so. And then you have to decide for yourself, is that good enough? I'm not hitting against Rashford. The thing is with Rashford, he's got the talent. He's like Luke Shaw. He's got all the talent in the world. But his thinking sometimes is off. Rashford shoots when he's not supposed to shoot. He dribbles when he's not supposed to dribble. He passes when he's not supposed to pass. I mean, Marcus Rashford shoots from positions he's not supposed to be doing. Because the media have gassed him up that he's got this foot of Ronaldo. He doesn't. He doesn't. Bruno Fernandes can shoot. Rashford can't shoot. So he needs to practice. He needs to go and practice. So that's what I feel. That's what the starting 11 is going to be. And then going to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I fear the worst for Ole. I do fear the worst for Ole. I think that this season Ole can get sacked. I do think so, because finishing 4th, as I'm predicting, that is not good enough. I don't care what Chelsea have done. I don't care. That is not good enough. For you to finish last season tied on points with Chelsea, always told us that once Chelsea invests, they're going to beat us. It always told us that, guys. It never tell us any difference. We were not, me personally, I weren't blinded by us finishing 3rd and Chelsea 4th. I never looked at the position, I looked at the points. I looked at us finishing tie on points with a club that lost their best player, a club that did not spend any money, while we spent 200 million. And I looked at that and I said, you finish in tie on points with them. The minute they spend some money, they're going to be better than us. Because they got a better manager, they got better coaches, they got a better structure, they play better football. So, you know, it doesn't take rocket science to see that. So as I'm saying, I do fear the worst for Oli. I think that Oli will get sacked this season. I do think so. And if he doesn't get sacked, and he finishes fourth and he doesn't get sacked, then that should tell you all about the ambition of Manchester United. That the fans are more ambitious than the club, because the club just don't know what they're doing. Nobody at Manchester United knows what they're doing. So I do fear the worst for Oli. Let me also say that you guys that are waiting to see a style of play is not going to come. As you don't take 1 year, 10 months to implement a style of play. A style of play gets implemented the very first few months you are there. Hansi Flick at Bayern Munich took over Bayern Munich, implemented his style of play. Bayern Munich won the treble, playing fantastic football. He came half a season. Mikel Arteta is there. You can see a style of play under Mikel Arteta. He's doing what he has to do with that squad. That is a very poor Arsenal squad. You give Oli that squad, Arsenal will probably finish 12th. So, don't wait to see a style of play. I've reduced my expectations of Manchester United. There's no style of play. There's no system. It's go out there, boys, and do what you want to do. And so, that's what I feel. I do think, you know, Oli needs to go and try and win a cup. He needs to try and win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. He needs to try and do that, because if he finishes fourth with no cup, that is sackable. But if he still finishes fourth and he wins maybe a FA Cup, the people can say, okay, you know what, the whole Oli emotion that some fans have and the club has and the media have for him. So I think he needs to prioritize a cup, because we're not going to win the league. We're not going to win the Champions League. And in the Champions League, he needs to get us a quarter-final finish at least. I know Champions League is difficult because it depends who you get in the round of 16. And let me also say, Oli has to qualify outside the group, which I do think he will qualify out of the group. I do think we'll make it out of the group stages in the Champions League. But it also depends who we get in the round of 16. If you're getting a Real Madrid, a PSG, a Bayern Munich, a Juventus in the round of 16, then obviously it's tough. Obviously it's tough to go to the next level. But if we're getting a Lyon, Sevilla, who else? If we get in a Leverkusen, those type of teams, even a Dortmund, we need to be beating those teams. So I expect Oli to go to quarter-final, and that's what I expect. So that's my season preview, guys. Please, I urge you to remember this. Save this video, because come end of the season, I guarantee you, we are not finishing higher than 4th. We're not finishing higher than 4th. We've got the first 11 to do it. We don't have the squad to do it, but also because our manager is not levels. He's shown us he's not levels, you know. So that's my season preview, guys. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. Smash the like button and follow me on my socials. I'll see you all, guys.